Hi everyone, welcome to Addington News out on the Addington track, and gee, it's looking good too, Darren. Just resurfaced, all ready for the big premiere night this Friday night.
Yep, absolutely, in front of the IRT winning post, track all ready to go, so they're going to go really quick, I think. Weather's a wee bit indifferent during the week, but should be okay Friday.
Yeah, look, Group 1 racing for the last time before the IRT New Zealand Cup Carnival. Basically, I know we have the Flying Stakes in October, but basically this is where it ends, although we have a heck of a lot of racing at Addington over the period in between.
Yeah, 9 weeks in a row, racing twice a week, including those Sundays, which are all sponsored by the trainers, as we said, so there's a lot coming up, but this is the last of our feature meetings, our last premiere, and music and spectators after the races, plenty going on.
Yeah, look, just back to last week, some terrific racing. The Uncut Gems were absolute highlights, and of course the Sire Stakes Heat, the last one of those. And the Owners' Night went off, didn't it, in the Christian Cullen Lounge, and a big thank you to everyone who was involved in that.
Yeah, 100%. Thanks to everyone that come, everyone that supported it. There's far too many to name. Really outstanding. Each one we've done's got more people, so really good, and pleased to be able to support the owners.
Yeah, you thinking we'll be having another one of those? I'm thinking, yeah.
No, we're all done. No, we'll definitely be doing more of that, and we'll be looking at some other options, maybe a summer one as well. So, you know, I think we've got to a stage where that's really well supported, and we'll keep doing it.
All right, what about the performers off the Ultimate Racebook recently?
Yeah, so we keep picking these ones up. There's a couple that were down the track, or midfield if you like, last week. Better's Tart got home really good. Finds a difficult race because it's in the Hydroflow Country Cups final. And Mossdale Ben, he was the quickest quarter home in 26. He ran on from a long way back.
Yeah, really like him this week. He's a big hope. You'll find out more about that shortly. Stakes are up for next week as well.
Yeah, so next week's almost like a premier meeting. We've got minimum stakes of 15 for the maidens, up to 20,000. I think there's 175,000 on offer. So have a look at that program. Even though this is the last of our features, it doesn't look like it when you look at those stakes next week.
All right, you keep rolling out the music and spectators, so there's plenty of reasons to hang around after the race meeting too. We've got the full race meeting preview coming up. If you just want a couple to back, Mossdale Ben in race 5, really hard to beat. Obviously, Don't Stop Dreaming will be on everyone's multi-ticket, although sooner the better. Top 3, top 4 is definitely worth a shout. And Smoke on the Water in race 4, I reckon, is the best roughie. It's trolled up quite nicely, but stick around if you want to be part of the full race preview, and we'll also have a look at last year's winner of the Hydroflow Country Cups final.
All right, let's get into a full meeting preview. Of course, it's a dual code meeting this week too with the Greyhounds. We get underway 5:26 and run through to 9:52. Greyhounds underway at 4:08. A big meeting for them, of course, Greg, with the Rose and Thistle New Zealand Oaks, a $50,000 race. Also the Kingston Cup at 20,000 and a Memorial Cup for Trevor Wilkes, which will also be on the card. So a big crew from the Greyhounds upstairs with trackside dining. So good luck to them. They're going to have a good night as well. The harness meeting, as we say, 5:26 race 1, IRT Your Horse Our Passion Mobile Pace, 1980.
Yeah, like Ideal Chevron in this, highlighted on Addington News a couple of times now by virtue of the way it's got home, and gets in off the unruly here off the back of a really strong run last week and a win back at the end of last month. So like it each way, no good thing, the son of American Ideal, but definitely has an advantage over the likely favourite, Watermelon Sugar, who's shown plenty for the Dalgetties, outside second row for it. Definitely capable of cleaning up a field like this, but it'll need some luck from there. Major Happy, thought it could win last week, still win a very good race, win second. That was in behind Kingsdown Atom. Wouldn't need to lift much off that, the daughter of Art Major. And the other one I gave a chance was He Sent His Excuse, who comes up with a beautiful barrier draw of 3 and will be in the fight, I would imagine. Wouldn't be worse than 3 or 4 lengths off the most of the way, and has a good sort of a finish. So I'll have them 6 to beat 14, 12 and the 3.
Race number 2, first leg of the early quaddy, TK Plastering Mobile Pace, 1980, 5:56.
Yeah, Tyson Keats and his crew will be up in the Silk Suite. They've been up there before and had a blinder of a night, and I reckon they'll probably have one again on Friday night. pretty keen on Bluto off the second row. Smart type of a horse, beaten last time but not disgraced, and the prior couple of wins were excellent. Son of Sweet Lou, trained by Brent and Tim White, to the second row should suit, and it'll take some beating. Jimmy James Maguire's a horse I've always had a lot of time for. Front row draw may be the advantage it needs to beat Bluto this week. I reckon it'll give you a great sight. Then I was with Adesanya, who was excellent, winning last week. And speaking of John Dunn, it's just a horse that's growing up quite a bit. If you want to tune into that interview, you can do so via HRNZ. Trots Talk on a Sunday, between 11 and 12. You listen to it live or listen to it at your leisure. The other one I gave a chance to was Smokin' Annie, who I know, Darrin, you've highlighted on Addington News, running home in terrific sectionals. So from a good barrier draw of 3, not without a hope in this. 11 to beat 7, 10, and then the 3.
First of our features is race number 3, the Harasda Trotters Heather Williams Memorial Fillies and Mares Trot. This time, first time in the 3 years it's been run as a Group 3 this time. 27,626. A big shout out to Harasda Trotters and to Lex Williams and the whole family for the initiation of this race and putting it in place for these fillies and mares, Greg. And I Dream of Jeannie back to try and defend her title after winning it last year.
Yeah, she is, and Lex will have all the family on course, which is fantastic. And Heather was such a big part of their racing operation with One Over Kenny, One Over the Moon, a string of horses I've had success with. So he'll be delighted that it's a Group 3 level now. And I think the quality of horse, would we like to do more numbers? Yeah, possibly. But the quality of horse we got there with Time Up the Hill, who's Group 1 placed in the last 12 months, and behind Muscle Mountain, Paramount Empress, who's really improving all the time. And you mentioned I Dream of Jeannie, who's got to be hard to beat again. Racing Super, won the About Now a couple of weeks ago. Very good run last week too. I think Paramount Empress can win it. $2 is pretty short with the bookmakers, but she has the barrier draw. She has Natalie Rasmussen. Yeah, I think she can win, but she's no absolute good thing. I Dream of Jeannie will be hardest to beat. Time Up the Hill. I think those 3 absolutely pick themselves, Darrin. And then Miss Alyssa probably makes her way into the top four by virtue of her ability and the way she races at Addington Raceway. So I've got them 5 to beat 7. You could easily flip that round the other way, 6 and 8.
My moments now improve a wee bit, Greg, after just getting swamped late. And of course, good luck to Lex Williams and the family with Light of the Moon by their stallion One Over the Moon.
Winner, wouldn't it?
100%. Race number 4 is the Commodore Hotel Handicap Pace 2600, and this one at 656.
Yeah, I mentioned earlier on, I don't mind Smoke on the Water. Fresh up here, liked its trials. It won its trial two back about the 19th of April. And then the last one was just a tick over trial, and I was quite happy the way he went too. He won it on Maru in good style, home in 58 and 28, a couple of starts back. And yeah, I think this horse has got the ability to win a couple of times at least in this campaign. So I'll go for it. Ain't No Angel was an excellent winner down south at the Invercargill meeting last week. A really strong performance, ran to the line strongly in the hands of Kieran Tomlinson. Again, gets into this race beautifully. So you've got to have it in. Rakiro Slammer, who we thought could win first up, did it in good style. Overall time wasn't that fast, but you can only win. Found its way to the top, dominated. So you'd have to respect it. And Ventura is the one that will probably get under most punters' guards by virtue of its draw, but it definitely has the ability to be in this. Was heavily backed at the Invercargill meeting at the end of last month and just got it wrong at the start. It's off the Unruly. It's a big old field, Darrin, so there's a lot to get round, and Kingsdown Adam has to give him 15-metre start, so I was happy to leave it out this week. But Ventura's the blowout chance in it for sure. 6, 8, 7 and 17.
Really competitive field, that field, race number 4. Race number 5 is the Bayou Woodlands Weanling on the 25th of May. Of course, the Weanling Styles up in the North Island. Mobile pace 1980, 726.
Yeah, and they've got about, 48 or 49 weanlings in there. So good luck with that sale to them. I'm keen on Mossdale Ben. He really found the line last week, just got back of midfield and anything goes, ran home in, 55 seconds. And we know what sort of a horse we think he might end up being. So I like Mossdale Ben this week. I reckon Ben Hope will be positive. Sweet Bell to its inside gets off the gate good, as does Glory's Delight. But I think he's going to go a long way, Mossdale Ben. I think he can win. I'm happy to be with him. Here's Herbie, got the business done at Rangiora in the Country Cup there, beating Sia Art and a wall of them behind. He's a smart horse, here's Herbie. He'll be in this for a long, long way. Don Maro resumes, Darrin. Really good horse, trained by Roger Austin. Did a terrific job last time in. He's a winner of 5 of just his 11 starts. He's trolled up nicely. Yeah, I'll give him a chance. I just would like to see him just have one run, and Glory's Delight's going to get a beautiful run. That's leaving out the likes of Jack Tarr, Sweet Bell, who have been in love with the last couple of weeks. American Me resumes, and Tommy Waterhouse is now with Ken Barron. So it's a good race, but I'll mark them 4, 7, 5 and 1.
Race number 6, the time-honoured Avon City Ford New Zealand Welcome Stakes for the 2-year-olds. One of their feature race meetings here at Addington, the 2-year-olds. Group 2 race 1980, 756.
Yep, 45,000, 80th running of this excellent race, won by many, many of our very best juveniles who go on to cracking 3-year-old careers as well. Just the 7 going to the post, Darrin, and it's probably a race in 3, maybe 4 you could stretch it to. I went for Vegas Strip, actually. Brent Mangos trains and drives. Excellent run first up. Got a good barrier draw. No way Mango would have travelled unless he thought he'd be competitive. And I think it'll take some beating in this. Bronson has, to its outside, an excellent record so far. He can only go as good as 1 from 1, and that's exactly what he did last week. He'll improve off that as well. A Major Hot's already been group placed twice already behind Vessam down south, so you'd have to accord it a good sort of a chance. And Mickey's Courage, first up run was very good, very green, but there's a motor there, and the trials had indicated that early on too. And then you got Song Sung Blue, who comes up with barrier 1 and might just find itself a few places back on the inside, which in a small field might not be the worst anyway. I'll make them 4, 5, 7, 3, 1, 1, 3, whichever way you want to go there.
Race number 7 is the Hydroflow New Zealand Country Cups Championship Final. 3,200 metres, 8:26, and this is a combination of the entire season of these Country Cup races, Greg. I think the Falcon was the winner last year of the inaugural running of this race at this level, and it's drawn a really good field, including some North Island visitors, which we're really pleased to see down here. The connections of He's a Sure Thing were in the owners' function last week. Had a great time with their horse running third.
Yeah, they did, and it has drawn together all sorts of form lines. Of course, last year, All American Lover, I think Darrin finished second, and she went on and won the Queen of Hearts. So, it's a good stepping stone for some of these horses. And Franco Norton is one of those who definitely keeps on stepping up. I know Styx McRae's had a few issues tie-up wise, and it won't be easy off the 20 metres, because if they run hard off the front here, it's blimmin' difficult to come off a mark. He's a chance. I'm not tipping him to win the race. I think Wheels of Fortune can win it. Trained by John Hay, excellent horseman. Horse that went round in the Derby. I can see him in the Cup this year. I think he'll just keep on progressing, and this may well be the next stepping stone for him. So I'll go for him on top. Got You Covered is a horse that always runs under the radar. Just, not quite good enough to win one of the features, but always there or thereabouts, and race against many of the free-for-allers building into the IRT New Zealand Cup of 2022. So it's a chance. Sia Art's racing great. No way would you think that it would be a shock if it came out and won this. And from the draw, I think Tim Williams will put him in the race nice and early, probably hand to the right one, and will hit the line strongly. Cos I Can was unlucky last week, wouldn't discount its chances, and you've got to have Franco Norton in there somewhere. I'll have them 10, 15, 4 and 8, but there's a few I've left out there, and it's a tricky race, the 7th, and thank God it's not, actually it is. It's the first leg of the late quaddie. Take as many as you possibly can. One moment there, I thought we had 11 races. Oh, we have. It's a non-tote trot, isn't it?
It is. Homebush Lad, of course, has been the star of the show over that period, and I think Jimmy Armour was just about the outside of the field and run third in this race last year.
That's right. That's exactly right. Yep.
Yeah. Race number 8 is the feature of the night, if you like, the Garrard Sires Stakes 3-year-old final for the Colts. A Group 1 race, 1,980 metres at 8:57.
Yeah, he's the dominant favourite here, and he was the 2-year-old of the year, and he was the winner of his 2 heats leading into this, and he dominated last week, and he hasn't got Merlin to beat this week. So you're not getting a lot of odds about him, but he's all quality. I don't know when he'll get the lead. I suppose it'll be determined by when Natalie wants to go there, and maybe he won't get it at all because sooner the better, and Triple G will have a bit to say early on. And I reckon Sinbad, if he paces correctly, I think Blair will have designs on going forward too. So, yeah, interesting what the first couple of 100 metres might unfold. Probably won't matter though, Darrin, because he's just such a great quality. He's won 8 of his 9, and yeah, he'll be really hard to beat in this. So don't stop dreaming. Clear top pick. Never any doubt about that. Sooner the better, absolute big hope for top 3, as is Sinbad. And then I gave Charlie Brown by virtue of the fact that he'll be back on the inside and smoking his pipe, and he's probably got a top 4 chance. But yeah, I'll have them 6, 5, 1 and 10.
Yeah, Ross Gordon with a couple of runners in this race, such a big supporter of Diamond Racing. Good to see him with 2 finalists in this race. And, of course, Ian Dobson and Dennis Dunford, who will be on course owners along with Mark of Don't Stop Dreaming. Race number 9 is the Bog Handicap Trot, 2,600 metres, part of the Oxford Group sponsorship, and this one at 9:27.
Yeah, I'll go with 2 Tangata again. It hurt me last week, and when I spoke to Blair Orange post-race, he said he thought he was going to win until he rolled into a gallop. Barrier 1's probably not ideal either, but I think he's the most progressive in this field. That's not discounting Majestic Lavros, who's obviously already been there and done that on numerous occasions, but yeah, I'll go with 2 Tangata on top, provided he does things right, over Majestic Lavros, who I know Derek and Adele Jones were thinking about backing off this horse and getting him up again for the spring, but they obviously think there's another run in him off the back of last week where he had no luck at all. If he gets any this week, he'll be in this for a fair way. Jimmy Carter's struck form, and when he invariably does that, he holds it, so you wouldn't count him out for Phil Williamson. And out of my way, Blair Orange drives for Paul Nairn. Back trotting, has won pacing, as we know, trialled up quite nicely. Yeah, it's got a chance in this 1, 17, 10 and 12. It's a good race, though.
The last race on the card, as it always is, First Direct Taxis Mobile Pace 1980. Encourage you to be getting yourself a taxi if you've really enjoyed your night on course. 9:52, we get underway, Greg, 1,980 metres.
Hard to think that Tempo Warrior won't just win it. Nearly made it my bet of the week, Darrin, because where it's drawn and the likely way this race is to be run, if it goes like it did last week, it'll win. Like, it was really brave, I thought, behind Adesanya. And on that performance, yeah, it's one of the better bets of the night. Drawn to its inside, Millwood Indy. Excellent second behind Arden's Delight at Rangiora. Again, probably wouldn't need to lift much off that. Ali Franco finally got things right and got it done down there at Invercargill at the end of last month. No reason to think that she won't just continue to improve off the back of that. Sticks McRae and Craig Thornley, and McKendrick, if they hadn't have drawn the second row, would probably be favourite or close to it for this race, but I think he's got a bit of a motor for Robert and Jenna Dunn, Johnny, to do the driving. 4, 3, 7 and 13, but yeah, it's a premier meeting. The stakes are there. There's a lot of depth in a number of those races, and there's so much quality, particularly at the top end with Don't Stop Dreaming. Really looking forward to Friday night.
Yeah, a wee bit of a later finish with the dual code meeting, so we don't finish till just before 10 o'clock. But as we say, some music and spectators from about 8:30 with Anton. We're going to leave you with last year's Hydroflow New Zealand Country Cups Championship final, which was won by the Falcon Greg, who made his way towards the New Zealand Cup after this. So it's a race that some horses really have raced on and from, and I'm sure that they will again, but we'll leave you with last year's really exciting race, the Country Cups final. Have a good night Friday night.
The Falcon and got you covered. All-American Lover, she's 3 clear. The Falcon's running on to the far side from Rough and Ready and Jimmyama. It's All-American Lover. The Falcon's coming. All-American Lover. The Falcon has sprouted wings, and the Falcon beats All-American Lover. Third in Jimmyama, and fourth across was Dashing Major. Next in got you covered, then Samstown, Rough and Ready. Last Tango in Heaven, American Me, Bad Medicine. Followed over by McAndra, Aviator, Tail or Toll, Homebush Lad, Johnny Mack and Art Attack. He is a goodie.